one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Jazzie After Dark.
Hey, did y'all see me back there playing in the corner? I was like way, I think Hank them had me hid like way on over there somewhere. What's up? What's up, everybody? I am Jazzie K Ward. Happy Monday to you, and welcome to another edition of Artist Talk Jazzie After Dark. As we always say, come on in the room. What's up? Hey, Miss Tootie Malone. Dr. Graham is here tonight. Chef D is here tonight. And of course, our special guest is trombonist and producer, Hank Bilal. So don't forget, before we get started, go over to K Ward Radio, which is my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel. KWardRadio.com is my website. Make sure you subscribe. Also, like the page on YouTube and all that. And always we say on the show, if you don't do any of this, shame on you. So everybody, let's go ahead and kick off the show right now.
Live from WKRW, welcome to Artist Talk, a live one-on-one conversation with your host, the man with the golden voice, Jazzie K Ward.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Again, I'm Jazzie K Ward. Hope you had a great week. I had a great weekend. Can you believe the year is almost over? I am ready for the holiday. This is like my favorite time of the year, from what do you say, Halloween up to Thanksgiving, up to, the Christmas time. I like the spirit of all that. Do y'all have a favorite like holiday time of the year for you guys? Make sure you put it in the comments section. If you have questions for our guest tonight, please leave them in the comments section. But before we get started, don't forget to do the hashtag shame on you. If we have time, hopefully I can give away a gift. Again, that's hashtag shame on you. I see Chantel said Christmas love. That's all right. It's all about love. It's all about love. And my next guest, who is a trombonist and producer, I'm just tell you a little bit about this young man. He was born in Winnsboro, South Carolina, into a musical family. He started in the not the church, in the church, also in the youth choir. His former music education began in middle school. He later went on to earn his bachelor's of arts in music and performance. He shared the stage with many great artists, such as on the Grammys with the one and only, the incomparable Miss Aretha Franklin, Gerald Albright, Shaka Khan, Christopher Williams, the Clark sisters. And that's why Hank Bilal has that it factor. He also has a new single that is hot and slamming. It's called The Way You Look Tonight, featuring Frank McComb. Also, he has another track I love, Keep Holding On, featuring Gerald Albright. So we're going to talk about that more, a little bit more tonight. Again, we're broadcasting tonight, of course, on Facebook Live, K Ward Radio, Soul TV, Twitter, all that jazz, y'all. We're every Roku network, all that. So without further ado, let's welcome to Artist Talk, ladies and gentlemen, trombonist and producer, Mr. Hank Bilal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Man, I'm pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing even better now since you're here. I've been anticipating this conversation for a long time, Hank.
Well, I'm definitely honored.
I am honored. And I mean, when the jam came on, Footsteps in the Dark. I mean, that song, the band, before we get to that, who were those people with you in that particular video?
On the lead guitar, that was David George Sink. On the bass guitar, Rodney Foster. The drums, Roderick Johnson. And my keyboardist, which I call him my minister of music, Superior Edwards. He was on the keyboards and auxiliary parts.
Oh, that was bad. And where was that filmed at? Where were you all?
That was filmed in a little town called Barnwell, South Carolina. A guy named Ed Lemon, who's a guy I perform with sometimes. I do a lot of weddings and stuff with Ed, okay. And I played with his group called the Get Rights. I played with them at least 1 or 2 times, and he let me use his studio. Well, actually, I was filming for his show, and he has a show which there was his YouTube page that you was looking at video on, and he asked me to be a part of his show, and I was definitely honored. It was a great time, doing that.
Okay, yeah, I was enjoying that whole vibe, and we're gonna talk about your music and your career and all that tonight. But first, I want to say again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and day to have a conversation with me.
My pleasure.
So Hank, so I do this segment called The Real You. So it's like 3 questions that I ask, just so our guests can get to know you a little bit better outside of, say, your professional music career, okay?
Okay.
So I ain't gonna get too much in your business. It's nothing hard. I promise you that, okay? So my first question is, what's your biggest fear?
Well, my biggest fear is failure.
Okay. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, of course, like many people, I'm afraid to fail. But I understand it's a part of life, and it's a part of making it to the next level that you want to make it to. But I'm afraid of that point, of getting there. I'm also afraid sometimes when I perform. I've been performing for so long, but every once in a while I might get a little nervous. But eventually I get over it. As the minutes progress along the show. But I guess that you can say that's failure as well. So overall, I'm afraid of that. But like I said, it's a part of life, and it's a part of getting to where you want to really get to.
Right. I agree with that because, I always tell people, even though when I've been doing radio, even with my full-time work, is always public speaking. But people are like, why are you so? I don't think it's a necessary, like you're nervous, because you always wanted to be great, right? You
Yeah,
always want to
yeah,
do what. So I feel like just what you said, Hank, if I stop having maybe a little bit of that butterflies of fear,
yeah,
then something might be wrong. There's like I think it's natural and it's a part of life.
yeah,
You know, I like
absolutely.
that. I love that. So my second question is, if you won $10 million tomorrow, what would you do with it?
Well, I would send a healthy donation to my school,
Hmm.
which I'm a part time teacher at on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Okay.
and yeah, definitely a healthy donation to all the organizations I belong to, like
Okay.
Kappa Kappa Psi Honorary Band Fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha
Mhm.
Fraternity Incorporated. I donate to all these, all my organizations, and a numerous amount of charities, and
Okay.
also I would donate a Hammond B3 to every church I played at before.
All
So,
right.
so that
I like that. I like that.
that's first and foremost. Of course, I buy me some property, and probably I say what people say. I'll be able to put musicians on, even a whole lot more at that
Right.
point, and provide opportunities for musicians that may not even have the funding. So
Right. I like
so
that.
we give back. We give back. It's a part of being successful.
That's right.
Philanthropy
Mhm.
is a big part of it all, and that's a step
Right.
that you can't really skip, because if you skip, you're not going to be as successful as you want to be.
That's right. I
Yeah,
like that. I was going to ask you something. So with that $10 million, can you give a brother at least $2?
man. I got you, man. I probably give you a couple thousand, man. Throw a little couple thousand your way.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, my brother. Hey, I do. Uh, my third question is, tell me something that always makes you feel good about yourself.
um, well, something that I always feel good question. The thought of being able to see another day. Simply as
Oh, yeah.
that, and being able to see my loved ones and my
Mhm.
friends, and just peace,
Oh,
happiness, just those things, first and foremost. It can make you feel like you got $10 million.
yeah. Let me explain something to you. Peace will, peace will. Let me tell you something. I told a friend of mine the other day. I have so much peace over me now. I don't. I think if someone offered me $1 million, I just could take. People don't understand that peace is everything
It is.
over money, over anything. And now, don't get me wrong. And the money do help. Now, I ain't saying
Yeah.
it does. It does. All right, but peace, a peace of mind, like Chantel said, is priceless.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially in the day we live in, we especially, I think, as African American men and mental health, there's a lot of that going on, Hank, in the world. And even when I think about music, music brings so much peace, I think, to a lot of us. And we're going to talk about that also tonight, about even the piece of, your music and what it does to us when we listen to your music as well. So thank you for being a part of the real you. That wasn't too bad, was it?
It wasn't too bad.
Okay. So, hey, everybody, I am Jazzie K Ward, your host for Artist Talk. Our special guest tonight is trombonist and producer Hank Bilal. And if you don't know this brother, shame on you. So you're going to get to know him a little bit more tonight. Don't forget to go over to hankbilalmusic.com. Yo, he has a new song out called The Way You Look Tonight. It's featuring Frank McCole. It is hot. It is slamming. Go over to the website, wherever music is streaming and sold, download the music. Download the music. And if you don't, shame on you. Shame on you if you don't get none of this brother music, okay? So, Hank, you're going to hear that hashtag a lot throughout the show. This is a hashtag we have, shame on you, right? So, before we're going to go and get into the show, Hank, So another question I have you, when we think about music, we think about jazz, we think about R&B, we think about gospel,
Hmm.
but why should people care about jazz music?
Well, jazz music is the originator of it all. Jazz music was before most genres, and it's it's really something. It's like a cake. It got all those things in it, like the
Yeah.
eggs, sugar, and all that, and it's all
Butter.
that combined. Yeah, combined in one. So you can say all those genres of music combined in one genre. You got gospel in there. You got rhythm and blues. You have all those things associated. Within there, and even hip hop. Was influenced
Mhm.
from jazz.
Right.
You know.
That's right. Because so yeah, I always call it all kind of spices, just everything
Yeah.
is all mixed up in there. And I like how you said that about the cake and whatever you put some sugar, you put a little butter, you put some flavor, whatever you
Hmm.
got to mix up in there. And that's just what it is when it comes to jazz and music. But I can go back through even your life and reading some of your information that you come from like this musical family. Can you share with us about your musical family and you growing up in the church?
Well, we ain't no Hawkins or anything, but we all grew up. I come from the apostolic church, so you spend a lot of time in church, performing. So some of the best musicians come out the Pentecostal kind of setting because they're always demanded you got to be in church Monday through Friday, you know. But I have uncles and aunts who were musicians. My aunts, they were singing. They were great singers, or still are great singers. And my mom, she sings as well. And they
Wow.
all had a group in my church, in my home church, and it goes back to I think the 1960s. But the group was called the Burning Bush. And few of my aunts and some of the church, what we call saints, the saints of the church, the older people, and they had a group, from back in the '60s, and I
Wow.
think they might still be around if I'm not mistaken. But and my uncles, they were on a band together, and they had a group which still is around to this day, and they also was formed in the 1960s, and they traveled up and down the East Coast and the West Coast,
Wow.
and I was a part. I was glad to be a part of another generation of that. So yeah, we all,
Wow.
it's all in the family, and I had an uncle who
Uh-huh.
played trombone, who ended up playing trombone professionally. He
Okay.
played for Bobby Womack
Oh,
back
wow.
in the day. Yeah, my mom used to tell me stories about him being picked up in a limousine from the house. Yeah. I had an uncle. He was a professional trumpet player and a professional. He was a minister of music in the church actually. And what's
Okay.
funny about that is, well, I'm a keyboardist in the church, and I'm a minister of music, and I've been playing in different churches for some years. One of the
Uh-huh.
churches I end up at one time, I found out later on that my uncle was their minister of music.
Wow.
So that that's just crazy how that happened.
Yeah. That
Yeah, yeah, and
amazing.
then that's my mom's side alone. She
Okay.
had three brothers, I think 3 or 4 brothers who played the piano, and all of them played brass. And on my daddy's side, he was a drummer, and
Yeah.
I think he had a sister that did some singing, but it more so runs in my mom's side. But my dad, he played drums many years professionally, and he did quartet, the gospel groups and all that stuff.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it runs deep. Yeah, my younger siblings, they played instruments at one point. My
Okay.
brother, he plays trombone professionally actually, and
Okay.
he
Shout
studied
out.
music too. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. Well, it sounds like when I hear your story and your conversation you're talking about is, do you believe that the church is a strong foundation for you when it relates to your music, even though as you went through middle school, you went through, college earning your degree. Would you say the church was a big foundation for you?
Well, the church still is a big foundation for
Right.
me. As I learned the songs, as I gotta learn a song, for I may get a song Thursday night, and I got to learn it by Sunday. And there's so much going on a gospel song. Just that alone is a challenge, and it kind of makes me a better musician. So like I said, then gospel is another one of them forms of music where it's the true foundation of a lot of music that we have going on now, and a lot of great musicians come out to church, whether they be keyboardists, trombonists, saxophonists, drummers. We all, it served the purpose because that was our first audience.
Right.
That was our first time, that we got criticism, from people, so it's a good school for musicians, you can say.
Right. I see a comment in the section. Chantel said, "Gospel is the root to so much great music that we have today." That is so true. I can remember in Alabama with my grandparents. My grandparents, in Lowndes County, Alabama, we would go to church when I stayed with my grandparents, right? And I used to tell my moms, like, "Well, you staying at your grandma and granddaddy this weekend?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" So Hank, you didn't have a choice but to go. If you didn't go to church, well, if you're not going, when we get back, don't go outside for the rest of the week. Don't ask to go nowhere. And I'm like, what?
But you know what, though? You find out later on that it's really nothing to do in those small towns but to really go to church anyway. So, you eventually appreciate it, in the long run.
I know. We would be at church, like we'd get there maybe by 7:30. We'd still be there by 2:00. And I'm like, man, that is a mess. So a question for you. What's the biggest stage you've performed on so far?
The biggest stage I performed on is in 2008 at the Grammy Awards with Aretha Franklin. And we performed for the gospel portion of the Grammys. And back to my family, when I was talking about my family, we had a band. Well, it was mostly us, but it was other people, on the band too. But my uncles, aunts, my uncles, cousins, and my younger brother. But he wasn't on the band at the time when we went to the Grammys. But we all had went to the Grammys. 2008. I was 17 years old. Wow. I was in high school. I was a junior, and I just turned 17. We played for the gospel portion along with the Clark sisters, Trinity 5-7, Israel and New Breed, and they was honoring Aretha Franklin, and they was giving her the Music Cares Award. That award. She was receiving that around that time, and it was a great experience. Just being from a small town. Columbia is our major city. Was our major city, and Columbia ain't even that big. But that's just how small of a town we come from. That we appreciate a mid-sized city. And, that's where we got all our stuff from. That we couldn't get in Winsboro. But so I was fortunate enough to do that, and also I helped arrange the music for that portion of the show. Well, at least for the band I performed with.
Okay. Did you get the opportunity to meet Miss Franklin at all?
Oh yeah, I met Miss Franklin. Yeah, she came to the sound check, but she ain't came to none of the rehearsals. But she came to the sound check.
Okay. So how was that? Did you get the chance to have a conversation, or was it just like hello?
Well, not a full conversation, but she definitely told us that we did. She enjoyed our music that we played for her. We'll play with her during the Grammy Awards. Okay.
I was going to ask you, not to put you on the spot, do you have a favorite Aretha Franklin song that you like or something? Have you ever played anything by her?
I played with an Aretha Franklin tribute band.
Okay.
That was based out of Charleston, and I did maybe at least 4 Aretha Franklin events with this particular band out of Charleston, and a few songs that that stand out to me, of course, and I respect. That's one of my favorites. Also, the song where she's "Bridge Over Troubled Water." That's another one. I love. I played that a few times before, actually. Okay. And more so in the church setting, though.
Okay.
A few. It's so.
That's
so
so
many
many.
of them. Yeah, the Spanish song where I can't think of all the titles, but I know them. The song. Dun, 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 that's what I'm gonna do. I like that one too.
Okay,
I
that's
forgot the
what.
title, but that one too. Yeah,
Until you come back to me.
yeah. Until you come back to me, that's one of my favorites. And actually, I heard. I think it was Mickey Howard. She redid that song.
She did.
Yeah. I heard on the radio one day, and she did a version of it.
She did.
So yeah.
Okay, I love that, my brother. So, hey, everybody, if you just, that's right, Kenneth Wynn says Spanish Harlem. I'm Jazzie K
Yeah.
Ward, your host. You're watching Artist Talk. Our special guest tonight is trombonist and producer, Mr. Hank Bilal. Again, if you have questions for our guest, please place those there in the comments section. Please go over to his website, hankbilalmusic.com. Check out the website. Download. Can they get music off of the website?
Yeah, it takes you to it takes you to the links, like the
Okay.
Amazon and all that, and you can get an autographed copy as well on there too.
Okay, you heard that, right? An autographed copy. So, Hank, I'm gonna put you on the spot again. Can you play something for us? We would love to hear you play something for us. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take like a short break, and then we're gonna come back, and then Hank is gonna play something for us, y'all. So again, if you're just tuning into the show, don't forget to share the video. Make sure you go over to hankbilalmusic.com. We're gonna have an awesome performance from this young man. You don't want to miss it. All right, here on Artist Talk. I'm Jazzie K Ward. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie K Ward. Thank you so much for tuning into. Don't forget to go over to kwardradio.com is my website, K Ward Radio on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. So we are back, and we have Mr. Hank Bilal, trombonist. So Hank, what are you gonna play for us? I think he's on mute. Let's see.
Well, actually, I originally released it on the Black Aquarius, and I did another version of it, and it featured Phil Denny. So this song is called Sunny Days. It was produced by both me and Sheldon Ferguson, who's a jazz guitarist. Yeah, like I said, it features Phil Denny. That's the newer version of it, which is on my Beneath the Cover album, and on the Black Aquarius, it's just me by myself playing it. But I hope you guys, enjoy it, and look up my music. It's on all platforms, So
all right,
guys,
all right, take it away, my brother.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody give it up for Mr. Hank Bilal, trombonist. That was awesome, my brother. Giving us those sunny days. Everybody loves them. Tammy.
I play that sometimes.
You play that sometime too?
Yeah.
I love that. So I wanted to ask you, was the trombone, was that your first love?
That was my first love. Yeah. Well, I guess you could say singing was my first love, and then it ended up being a trombone.
Okay, I love that. Did y'all hear that? Don't forget, go over to hankbilalmusic.com, and that's on the Black Aquarius album that you just.
Yeah, so it's on the Black Aquarius album, but then I did another version of it featuring Phil Denny, and that's on the Beneath the Covers album.
Okay, tell us the Black Aquarius, the title. Why the title of the album? Tell us a little.
I'm a Black Aquarius.
Okay.
January 31st. I was trying to come up with a creative, title for an album. It was my second album. So I feel like the second album really means a lot, to an artist. And I think it's like in most cases, it's a lot of the artist's best work, or it's a turning point for an artist. That's how I look at a second album. So, I just want to make it meaningful and rememberable as well.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Yeah. And we're going to talk about some of other Hank's, like Don't Stop Believing is another song he has out. Desires. He has another album out. Beneath the Covers, Brass Essential Elements. I also want to talk about your Christmas project. We'll talk about that a little later. But what we're going to do now, Hank, is we have a segment called Mind, Body, and Soul with Dr. Chantel Graham. And then we're going to come back with Hank Bilal and have a little bit more conversation. How about that, Hank?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Chantel Graham with Mind, Body, and Soul.
It's time for Health and Wellness Check-In with Dr. Chantel Graham. Tips for the mind, body, and soul.
Dr. Chantel Graham, come on in the room.
I shouldn't be doing that. I'm playing the trombone, people. That's what the sound is for. Okay, let's not. Yeah, you listen. Hey,
yeah.
In my mind, I'm a great musician, But you know, we're gonna leave it at that.
Dr. G, how was your week and your weekend?
Weekend is always too short, but you know, hey
Mhm.
Costello, but other than that, it is what it is.
Well, we're always
Listen, we're gonna
anticipating this
stay on this
conversation.
track. Jazzie, how's it going? We're gonna stay on this track about getting ready because I know the New Year's is coming and everybody got their resolutions and they're
Mhm.
gonna follow the paleo diet or the keto diet or the whatever diet. But just remember about having a well-balanced meal. Now we hear these things about fats, and fat is not good for you, but there are 5 fats that I want you to incorporate into your diet when you're trying to get healthy. You have your monounsaturated fat, your polyunsaturated fat, your CLA, your MCT, and of course, we all love fish oil. So let's talk about that monounsaturated fat. Now, we like that because what that fat does, it helps lower the bad cholesterol, which is LDL, and increase the great cholesterol, which is HDL. And remember, the higher that number is on HDL, the less chance you're going to have of any type of heart disease. You can get this from like different kind of oils, from avocados. You can do good snacks such as cashews, hazelnuts, almonds. You'll get that nice monounsaturated fat. Then you have your polyunsaturated fat. Now, we like that because it also reduces cholesterol, but this one also helps lower blood pressure. So we like the polyunsaturated fat. You can get that in different kind of oils like safflower oil or sunflower oil. We're using all these air fryer now. Get your little spray can, spray a little bit on your vegetables, spray a little bit on your little meats, and just throw it in the air fryer. You're going to be great. Now we talk about CLA. What is CLA?
Right.
And that's conjugated linolenic acid. We like that acid because that fatty acid because that also helps target weight loss. Okay. So with this fatty acid, not only does it target weight loss, there has been some research done that it also helps lower different types of colon cancer. And you're going to find this like in grass-fed meat, like in grass-fed chicken and beef and stuff like that. But you can also find it in dairy and in eggs. Then we all hear about the great MCT. So what does MCT stands for? Median chain triglycerides. Now, the reason why we all gonna love this fat, because this fat focuses right on getting rid of fat. So by adding this to your diet, it targets that abdominal fat, which I know I have a lot of. So I'm working on my little muffin top. So don't judge me, but it is. Now with MCT, you can also find MCT oils on Amazon and things like that. Remember, you're gonna always want cold press. When you get cold pressed stuff, that means it's not has all that refined kind of stuff. So you're gonna like that kind of stuff. Okay. You can also find it what they call in palm kernel oil or coconut oil. Coconut oil is a great MCT. And that last fat that we all love, and we know that we can get it from fish oil.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to fish oil, keep in mind if you have hereditary heart disease and things like that, this targets that. So you're going to also reduce your salt intake and get more fiber and fruits. But get your fish oil. Your breath may stink. You may stink up the lunchroom. They'll be all right. They'll get over it. Now, another bonus with fish oil also helps with eye health and mental health. So take a little funky breath, but get your little fish oil.
I love it. I love it. But I believe in it. You know, even we talk about fish oil, and I remember castor oil. Is it cod liver oil?
Yes.
I had to take that. My grandmother and mom would make us take that.
Every month in my mama's house, she would line all 6 of us up, and you took a spoonful, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Look, cod liver oil and castor oil, but we never got sick. So something had to be good about it.
Something had to be good about it. Dr. G, well, you know, Dr. G, we always love you. And a question we always ask you is, you know, Hank Bilal in the OR. Will you all be playing Hank Bilal in the OR, folks?
He'll be on rotation tomorrow. Now, when you get back on it, just ask him, does he have can we buy copies of him directly? Because I can always buy from Amazon. But you know, I love to support the artist directly. As I am an independent artist myself, you see Nia sitting back here.
Tell us about Nia the Germinator.
So y'all know Nia has them bad little 4 brothers, you know, them little germ brothers, Bacteria, Frank the fungus, Vic the virus, and Prody the protozoa. So she's fighting those germs. And if my publisher stopped dragging his feet, the Spanish one will be out before Christmas, and the new release will be out next year.
I can't wait. I always say this, even though I don't have any kids, and you know, people look at the book. Everybody, we have a cousin, a niece, a nephew, a friend of a child, a neighbor. I'm telling you all, buy this book. Please, it's all about support. Caring is sharing. Even the artists that come in, you know, Dr. Graham is also an almost a best-selling author. So make sure you go over to the applife.info. I read the book all the time.
You should read it. You know, reading is fundamental. You don't know till you don't know. And
Right.
people ask Chantel, how come you're not rich yet? You know what I'm gonna tell them, Jazzie, right?
Right.
Because you haven't shared my. We'll keep it PG. You haven't shared my stuff, but you know what I be trying to say.
Right.
It
Dr.
costs
Graham.
me nothing to share, so you know I share all this great music, get them on the rotation, the OR, and keep it moving.
I love it. And Dr. Graham, as always, we love having you here and Dr. Graham is here each and every Monday night.
Right.
You spitting us some knowledge. And Dr. Graham, we're going to ask you as always, can you stick around for the rest of the show?
I'm here for the whole event.
Okay. Thank
I'm
you
gonna
so
get my
much.
trombone and jam too. Let me stop. No, I'm not.
Okay. And let them know how they can find you on social media.
Dr. Shawnee 0730 or Dr. Graham at the applife.info. Email me.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Graham.
You're welcome. See you guys soon.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I always love listening to Dr. Graham. Always anticipates that. And even though we're friends, I always ask her, like, what you going to talk about? And she's like, I'm not going to share it with you. You're going to find out with everybody else. So I'm always anticipating that conversation. And my bestie is on. Nicole Murray is also here. Hey, Nikki. Thank you so much. So, hey, everybody, we're going to go back with our special guest tonight, which is trombonist and producer, Mr. Hank Bilal, is hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget to go over to hankbilalmusic.com so we can bring Hank back in the room. As we say, come on in the room. What's up, my brother Hank? So you missed Sunny. We missed Sunny Days also from Hank. But Hank, I wanted to get, when we talk about music, so when your new project out, The Way You Look Tonight, featuring Frank McComb, and then you also released Keep Holding On with Gerald Albright. But tell us, how did you and Frank McComb hook up with this slamming new song, The Way You Look Tonight?
Well, I reached out to Frank McComb. Well, I was in search of a male vocalist, and for what I wanted to do, I felt like Frank McComb had fit the description perfectly. He made it happen. I sent him some of my stuff. I said, here's a sample of what because I ain't know Frank at first. That was my first time. I guess you could say having an encounter with Frank. So I reached out to him. I say, man, my name is Hank Bilal. I'm a trombonist. And he was willing to work with me. We got to working, and I sent him the stuff I needed him to do, and he sent it back to me in a good timely fashion. He was a real professional as I was working with him, and he made it happen. He was the perfect person I could ask for to do that song with me, because his knowledge of chord structure and and how how a vocalist is supposed to do. He knows all that stuff. So big shout out to Frank.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard the song, I was like, wow. And plus, I love the song, the way you look tonight. I was going to ask you, like, what's your creative process like when you are about to, write a song?
Well, I guess it might be a little piece I might have been humming. It might be something a melody I may be humming or whatever, or just maybe not even a melody, more so a cadence. I probably was humming, and I just put it together with some other stuff I've been humming. And next thing you know, you gotta back to making the cake. Just like making a cake or anything, baking anything like macaroni and cheese or whatever you want to bake, and just compose all the ingredients, and also making doing collaborations with people, and getting together, and getting their ideas, and we putting our minds together, and just, it ends up being a collaborative effort with everybody involved, with guitar player, bass player, everybody does something to add some kind of flavor to it. So I feel like more than me gets the credit. I give credit to the musicians as well. They help me out, on it. I have a producer from Thailand who does a lot of producing for me. His name is Johnny. His name is his name? His name was Johnny Long. Johnny Long the third. He produced a lot of the songs for me on the Beneath the Covers album and also on my Christmas album.
Okay.
And we put our minds together. We came up with some great melodies and some great concepts. So
Right.
yeah,
I like that. And let me tell you, that Beneath the Covers album, that is fire.
appreciate it, man.
That is fire. It was like, what made you put? I don't know if if you see, I'm telling you, everybody, you need this album. You need one for the house and one for the car. I'm telling you, go and get this album now. I don't know. I'm a little probably older than you, Hank. I don't know if you remember commercial back in the day they used to play right after Good Times would come on. You remember when you would go by when people had the albums back in the day and people would come over people's houses and he's like, man, where'd you get that album from? He said, can I borrow that? He said, no, my brother, you got to get your own. So I'm telling you, the album Beneath the Covers, I mean, all of them, but I love that album.
Thank you.
And I was getting some tweets and people were like, I'm telling you, it's on his website. You can go to the website and Hank, you will autograph the CD.
Of course, yeah.
So again, being a independent, recording artist, Hank, when you're talking about relationships, the business aspect, how is important in this industry of building relationships with people?
Well, it's very important. A lot of times it's about who you know instead of what you know, and you can't what people over. So I think about it all the time. I try to make sure I treat people how I want to be treated. I give the same energy, to the energy I want to receive.
Right.
When it's time to receive it. So I just the best thing I can do is do right by people. Be honest. Be trustworthy. And work with integrity. In what I do. So
Right.
Those things go a long way.
That's right.
And you need people more than you think you do.
That is so true. And my friend also on here, recording artist Gary Smoot, said he wouldn't mind collaborating with you. That would be a great collaboration with you two.
I agree.
Yeah, Gary, you bad, Gary bad. Both of you have that it factor. So that I can hear the song coming through the airways now. I can hear the song coming through the airways now. So tell us real quick. I know with the holidays coming up, you have a Christmas album. Tell us about the Christmas album.
Our Christmas album called A Bonafide Christmas, which was released in 2020, features artists such as Althea Renee, Lynn Roundtree, and Jonathan Knott, who plays with me sometimes. He's a guitarist. And I have 8 different arrangements of Christmas songs, such as the Christmas song, Little Drummer Boy. I did a version of Jingle Bells, another version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, just to name a few.
Okay.
I asked some background vocalists, come sing on it, and some other musicians, collaborated with me, and we made it happen.
Okay, I love that. What about any tour dates or when we can come see Hank Bilal perform?
Well, I'm in the process of building my Christmas tour right now. So far, I have 3 dates that I have confirmed. On December the 2nd, I will be in Abbeville, South Carolina, which is in the upstate of South Carolina. And one of the places where you got to take, the highway to get there. So I'll be performing there, but it's a small city with a big heart. They always welcome me there, with open arms. Every time I come and play there, I'll be doing a bona fide Christmas show there, and the next day after that, I will be at Blues Boulevard in Greenville, South Carolina, which is starting to be a very well known music venue. People like Greg Manning performs there. Adam Hawley performs there sometimes, and a few other world-renowned smooth jazz and straight-ahead jazz players come through Blues Boulevard.
Okay.
I'll be doing that, and also I just recently booked a date with Javon Jones, who's a violinist in Augusta. I'll be a part of her stringing along for the Christmas holidays show,
Okay.
which will take place in Evans, Georgia, on December the 16th. So those are my 3 dates, my 3 holiday dates so far. I'm working on a few more holiday dates in my 2023 calendar.
Okay.
So just stay tuned. Be patient. The dates are coming. So if anybody wants to know, where the dates at, you'll see you'll see more dates as we go on, and I hope people get a chance to enjoy my show and what I have to offer as an artist.
Okay. And I want to play a little snippet, I think, from your Christmas selection. I think my producer, we have that queued up. So let's play something for that. That's nice.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So everybody, and is the Christmas album is available to purchase too?
Yeah, it's for hard copies. It's on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube. It's on all the platforms, even Facebook and Instagram, and the social media sites too. So make sure you go on all those platforms, and listen to it anytime.
Okay, I love it. The on a B said, "I'm feeling it." Also, recording artist The on a B. She's a poet. She's a lyricist. That's another great collaboration right there too. Castella says she's going to add it to her Spotify list.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Jeffrey, Colleen, everybody. I was going to ask you who were some of your favorite or musical influences you growing up in?
Well, me growing up, I say the Mississippi Mass Choir was one of them. Mm-hmm. Growing up, of course, I grew up in a church, so them along with John P. Key, mm-hmm. A little bit of Hezekiah Walker, some Fred Hammond, into moving on to the secular side of things.
Right.
Gerald Albright, he's definitely has been a big musical influence.
Okay.
As far as vocalists,
mm-hmm.
Luther Vandross, who was that was his version of the Christmas song I had that you just played.
Oh,
it was off of one of his Christmas projects. Of course, Charlie Wilson, he's one of my favorites, and I think he's the best vocalist on this earth right now.
Okay.
The Boyz II Men, Jodeci, a little bit of Southern soul, a little hint of Southern soul, with some R&B, and even some hip hop because of rhythmically, you can it kind of helps me out, with my phrasing when I do my soloing. So people kind of, some folks sleep on it, but all these genres of music, I like everything.
You like everything.
I like everything, to be honest with you, and I would find musicality out of watching The Wizard of Oz or something like that,
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah, so I like all kind of music by the end of the day, and I learned from a lot of it.
Right.
Whether it be big band, or whether it be some hip hop, some Tupac, Biggie Smalls, all that stuff.
Okay, I love that.
You name it, I like it. Yeah, my playlist is crazy.
Hey, I can understand, because a lot of people's like, jazz is. So when people get in my car with me and they hear other music, they just think I listen to jazz. I love jazz music. Yeah. I love gospel music. I love my hip hop music. I love my trap music. They're like, Jazz, you been listening to all that trap. Hey, you got to, you have to be diverse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you just can't listen to one particular thing. And Kenneth said that you're up there with Jeff Bradshaw.
I'm trying.
You are there. Well, one thing I wanted to ask you, I love the song, all your music, but the Gerald Albright song, the Keep Holding On, that title, tell me about that in about 30 seconds if you can.
Okay. Well, keep holding on. It's a message.
Yeah.
It's for somebody who's thinking about giving up. The road gets hard. Sometimes, and you got to keep holding on. Remain. Faith. With great faith and I believe in overcoming obstacles. So
Right.
you gotta keep holding on. And
Okay.
that song, a particular song, the background vocalist, the background vocals came from a lady by the name of Regina Skeeters. She's out of Columbia, South Carolina, and she's a phenomenal gospel artist actually.
Okay.
I was it was a pleasure working with her, and she's been on stuff like the Bobby Jones Gospel Show,
Okay.
and she sung on the original Benedict College Gospel Choir when they was, when they was the stuff, back in the early 2000s. So, um,
I love
so
it.
yeah, she, along with her and some other great musicians, Jeremy Wimbush, he played the drums on the track. He played with many great folks such as Music Soul Child and Blackstreet and a few others. Michael Blannon, he played the bass guitar. And Lonnie Clark, he played the organ and road keys, and he did producing for the song. And I played some keys on the album as well. I
Okay.
played if you hear the grand piano keys, that
Hmm.
was me. That
Okay.
was me playing, and he played the other keyboard parts. So
Wow.
it
I
was
love.
it was a great collaborative effort on everybody's end.
Okay. I love that, my brother. And that title, Keep Holding On. And it kind of goes into the segment of my final question for you, Hank, is, in this industry, I'm sure it's a tough industry. It's not always lights, camera, action, stars, and everything. So someone watching this program, maybe you can even give us your own testimony that to keep holding on, what advice or words of wisdom you can give someone about one in this business, like taking care of your business. And
Yeah.
it's not always an easy business, but someone that may be, that want to follow in your footsteps.
Well, I say one thing that you can do is uh, be very motivated. Be ambitious. You know, don't give up. It can be hard. It can be hard, and it can be a very tedious journey. And you just have to remain with good faith and still do the mission that you were sent out to do, and have a goal and reach your goal.
Right.
You always have something to work on. You
Right.
know, it's always some work you got to do, and that's just the
Right.
commitment of it. It is not a part-time commitment.
Right.
So take care of your business.
Yes.
Invest in yourself.
Hmm.
Invest in yourself, whether it be time. Time that's automatic. Invest in
Right.
yourself as far as time, as far as money,
Hmm.
and
Right.
that's the hard part. It's the money, and some people that have the money may not want to spend the money on what they on that part of it where
Right.
it's a sacrifice, and it involves somebody might have to miss out on this bill and be like, okay, I get this bill later on. It boils down to that really. If you really, it boils down to that at times. You might have to skip out on a payment. And you might be
Right.
like, okay, pay this. I just go ahead and pay this late fee when they come around.
Right.
So it's
We
all
have
it's all
all
kind of
been there.
sacrifices. Yeah.
That's right. It's about trust me. We have all been there. Well, I'm gonna speak for me. I know we've all been there. But that is definitely, some great advice. Anything else you want to share? I do have to ask one favor. Can you take us out with something?
Okay, I can do that.
You can
Let's see.
take us out with something. I was going to tell the people also, if you want to win a little gift from Jazzie, if you do the hashtag shame on you, then you could win a gift from Jazzie tonight. Why Hank Bilal, he sets up there a little bit, but don't forget to go over to hankbilalmusic.com. Anything else you want to say before we go?
Um, I can say this. keep holding on and don't stop believing.
That's right. Don't stop believing, and let them know. But don't forget, don't stop believing. That's also featuring Jaheim Joyner. He got Desires featuring Marcus Johnson. The album A Bonafide Christmas is available now. Beneath the Covers, Brass Essentials albums. Also, his new release is The Way You Look Tonight, featuring Frank McComb. Again, my friend Hank, it's been an amazing conversation. You are always welcome back on Artist Talk. Of course, I play your music each and every Saturday on WVAS, which is on the campus of Alabama State University. You can hear that each and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And what you gonna take us out with, Hank?
I'm gonna do an acapella song, so everybody else can everybody can clap their hands. That'll be the rhythm section, and the background vocals will be all singing along with me. So I hope you enjoy this. This is a Tevin Campbell classic. You can find it on my second album, The Black Aquarius. And it features Marcus Anderson, who's a world-renowned saxophone player.
Okay. Can I get you to hold on for just 1 second, Hank? So we're going to do this game real quick. If you did before Hank plays, if you put shame on you in the comment section, we're going to see who can be the winner of a special gift from me, Jazzie. Chef D, if we are ready, we can go ahead and do that. Hey, my friend Walter. We have Colleen, the owner B is in the house. Hey, my friend Jazzie Harris. So hashtag shame on you. Here we go. Hey. Congratulations, my friend, Miss Jazzie Harris. I'll be in contact with you to send you that little special gift for you. Okay. Thank you so much. Hey, Walter. So my friend Hank Bilal, you can take us out. We are ready to jam with Mr. Hank Bilal. Y'all don't forget to go over to hankbilalmusic.com, download some music, share some music. And if you don't, shame on you. All right, y'all. So Hank, we're ready whenever you are.
This song is going to be a version of Tevin Campbell classic. I'm going to take you back to the year 1993.
Know your way gets so high, keep holding on. Keep holding on. Know your way gets so high, keep holding on. It's the Jazzie K Ward coming at ya.